Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Paladin Ace Virtual User Meeting, Fall 2020. I wish I could be there in person with you. I just get my presentation up on the screen here. You shouldn't be able to see my screen at this time, but you will momentarily. All right, getting it going here. So we are recording this conversation and webinar, so you can view it later. We do have a number of folks online right now. We probably have a few more trickling in here. That's totally fine. If you miss any part of this, again, it will be posted in our webinar section. You'll be able to see it in the next 24 to 48 hours. So we are starting here. Let me go ahead and share my screen with you. There we go. Should be able to see that without a problem. All right, so just to clarify and make sure everybody can see me and hear me. Obviously, if you can hear me, you'll respond to this, but I also want to make sure that you can see my presentation as well. So I should be sharing my screen. If you can just raise your hand, let me know. Thank you, Joe, Nancy, Richard, and the rest of you. I appreciate it. Very good. So you can see my screen, you can see me, you can hear the presentation. Great. So again, welcome. My name is Charles Owen with Paladin Data Corporation. We're here to kind of go over some of the new features in Paladin, some of the new goings-ons here at Paladin, and some of the things we've done in particular for ACE. So most of you out there, if not all of you, should be ACE stores. If you're not, you're welcome to hang out and spend some time with us this morning. There's a lot of material, about 80% of this material that applies to just about everybody, and then 20% that's very specific to the ACE brand. So we're going to go ahead and get started here. Any questions that come up during this meeting, you can just put into the question box directly into the system. And that is on your little dialog box from GoToWebinar. And you just put in a question, and I will answer the question more than likely at the end of this presentation. So hang out for that. This should be about a 30 to 45-minute presentation. So just to kind of set the expectation there, it can go longer, it might go shorter, but that's roughly the time that we're looking at here. I appreciate everybody joining us today. Thank you for your time. So let's go ahead and get started here. So what you'll learn today is we're going to talk about some of the new releases in the 2020 release. The new help request portal as well. We'll be discussing that. That's pretty important stuff that we're learning. I've mentioned this in a few presentations and webinars before, but it's very critical that we go over this again and make sure everybody is using that particular tool. All right, we're going to talk about some integrations we've done with firearms, accounting packages, and the like. Expanded mobile device support, we'll be covering that again, just to remind you and reiterate what some of the things that we've done. And then there's some other additional devices that I'll be rolling out today that you probably haven't seen before. And then some of the new point of sale features that are in the system, and then specifically the new ACE features that we have in the system. So the new help request portal, I'll go over this pretty quickly. Now, what you see here is you see on the screenshot here, you'll see the help button, and then you'll see a support drop down. I'm realizing that not everybody has this update. If you don't have the update that has the actual support drop down, you still will see submit a help request. It'll be the fourth up from the bottom, right where the knowledge base is on this screen right now. So you're still able to use the same system. We just haven't broken out into a separate support button at this time. But few of you have that. Most of you should have it in the next week or two. Why are we asking you to do this? Why is this important? Well, we need to just have as we expand and as we grow, we just need better ways to track these cases as they come in, these help requests. And obviously you can call in, you can send an email and things like that, but this is going to be our de facto standard way that we're going to be receiving help requests from this point forward. So do become familiar with this. It's super easy, and it can be done just with a matter of a few, buttons. And so you'll just go in this. You'll see here, submit a help request. It'll ask you, what is the category? Are you placing an order, requesting training? Does this have to do with our software or managed services, third-party software integrations, credit cards, or hardware issues? And then once you go into that particular category, a subject matter comes up, and you pick a subject matter, and then you just type in a description. In this case, it just says, I need a password reset. And then you enter your phone number, your email, and if you were provided a case number or a code, then you can add that in here, but that's only if you've been talking to our customer service rep and you already have that number. Otherwise, this will create a very new case in the system, and it will alert all of our techs at that time. You will then receive a help request confirmation email in your email box with whatever is tied to this particular account, and that's normally the store's email, in some cases the individual's. And this is going to be quite helpful for us. It gives us a lot of information about your store. It's not just we're not just receiving a help request. It gathers what version you're on of operating system, what version of Paladin you're on, information about your database. We just get all this good, rich information that we can then track and look for commonalities and patterns to help address the needs of our customers. So we appreciate your help in this. I know it might take a little getting used to, but it's really simple, and it's been a tremendous help to us. All right, so here are the advantages, right? It's fully integrated into Paladin, automatically collects the vital data, as I mentioned, categorizes quickly, directs your request to the most knowledgeable support team member, and our products and customer service are optimized based on the data that we collect. So this is very pivotal to us having a better support mechanism in place to be able to accommodate all of our customers' needs as we grow and as you grow. All right, let's talk about new integrations. Fastbound integration. This is a very exciting feature that we've added. This is a product that integrates entirely with Paladin. So if you are selling guns today, or if you are in the market and may want to add a line of firearms, we have a solution for you that is 100% fail-safe. It will give you and make sure you have all the information that you need to provide to the feds, including the electronic bound book, the 4473 forms. We do that both electronically and or manually, and we guarantee compliance, or at least Fastbound will. They have a legal team there that helps you with all your acquisition and disposition and in the audits and things like that. And then you'll receive and sell firearms in Paladin, and it simultaneously will update your Fastbound acquisition and disposition and your electronic bound book. So this has been a request for a long time. A lot of you stores out there, Ace and the like, are selling guns. You have sporting lines, and this is a tremendous asset to you. And in addition, and also just efficiency. It's just a super efficient thing to have. You'll use Paladin's integrated serialization component to track the serialization or serial numbers of the firearms as they come in and as they go out. So great solution. QuickBooks Online integration. What's different about this? Well, we've enhanced it quite substantially. In the old days, back when QuickBooks was a very basic system, and we had a very basic integration where we would export the information from Paladin and then import it into QuickBooks. You don't have to do that any longer. There's two solutions out there, one for the enterprise solution, meaning it is located at your on-premise, and the other solution is the online general ledger, or cloud-based, if you will, for QuickBooks. It supports both of those methods and versions of QuickBooks. And what's neat about this is we've taken it kind of to the next level. We used to just send up the end of day roll-up numbers, right? So you get about a dozen different numbers that the post would be made automatically. Well, now as you close your POs in the receiving end on Paladin, it will go ahead and automatically create an accounts payable event and invoice within your QuickBooks solution. So this is new. It is an option that you may turn on or you may not turn on. It's up to you and how you want to use it. But it's tremendous, again, just another efficiency that you can add to providing a better integration between the two and synchronizing your POs in Paladin with your accounts payable in your QuickBooks solution. So if you haven't activated that, or if you're interested in this, contact Paladin support and we'll get you going. So what are some of the new mobile device and support apps? So many of you have tried this. Many of you have this still. The Touch Dynamic Quest 3 tablet. It is a full-on Paladin licensed product, meaning it has every feature that Paladin has on it. There are some caveats, however, that we'll go over, but you can do inventory management, EDI, purchase order, pricing plans, quotes, everything you can do on a Paladin system, you can do here as well. But it has a couple added features. It has a built-in scanner. It has a built-in credit card swipe and dip. So you can take EMV-enabled cards. And if you are on the old unencrypted, 3-piece or 2-piece system where you have a separate pin pad and a separate swipe, and it's going through the little strip, you'll have to upgrade to EMV before you can add this particular one. So that's one caveat. The other caveat is there's no place to sign and put in a pin. There's a place to sign, but there's no place to put in a pin. So that would require a separate device. So on this particular unit, most credit cards are taken and accepted, but those that require a pin, it won't be able to be transacted on this particular terminal. It does also have to stay within the confines of your network, unless you have a sophisticated VPN that you want to put in place. It only works within your store. This is not the device that you take to the other side of town and sell stuff out of the back of your truck. That's the next device we're going to talk about. So let's move on to that now. So the Samsung Galaxy Tab is a tablet. It serves one purpose, right? Where the last product, the Quest tablet, is a full-on license, does every feature that Paladin does. This only does checkout. So that's that's how we distinguish between the two. In addition, this device works through the cloud, so you can take it across town to the next state out of the country. As long as you have mobile or Wi-Fi access, you can sell anything in your store using this product. So we'll talk more about the actual mobile checkout solution, but right now, as far as the device goes, this supports a credit card reader. It is not EMV enabled. You can use it if you are EMV enabled. You can also have a non-EMV enabled chip reader. So this just pops into the top of the device, and now you can accept credit cards. Another new device is the Ingenico Lane 7000 and 8000. The photograph you see here is the 8000. It's a little bit wider and larger than the 7000 device. This has all the capabilities as the old Ingenico. It actually just sleeker, newer, new technology, provides better encryption and all the like. So this is a device that is now available, has been available for a while. As with any credit card device, we had our a few trials through it, but we got past it. They've perfected it, and now it's working pretty flawlessly out there. There might be a few problems here and there, occasionally depending on the situation, but for all intents and purposes, this is the solution for providing full-on encryption and EMV capabilities. It also supports touchless and Google Wallet or Apple Pay and all that good stuff. All right, moving on. So here's a new device that I'm seeing for the first time. This is a Verifone P400 payment terminal. This is upgrading, or it's the upgrade for the Verifone VX805s. So the VX805s, like every device, all these devices, by the way, just to set your expectation, 3 years is a pretty good lifespan for these devices. After that, they go kaput. They end of life them. They still support them. The credit card vendors still support them. The processors still support them. But you cannot buy new product typically. There are replacement products you can buy for the VX805, but just like the Ingenico 250s and 480s that were out there, they're being replaced with the Ingenico 7000 and 8000, and in another 3 to 5 years there'll be another mousetrap to sell. And this is just the credit card companies making sure that they stay ahead of all the hackers and all the bad things that are happening out there. So they have to continually refine and perfect and stay ahead of the criminals. And that's why that Visa and MasterCard actually request that merchants replace this equipment every 24 to 36 months, which is crazy, but that's if you want to take credit cards. Welcome to the world of credit cards. All right, so the Mobile 2 checkout app, this is the actual application that runs on the Samsung. It's very specific to the Samsung device. It supports every tender type. It supports the checkout process. So this device you can actually take, like I said, you can fill up the back of your truck, take it to a swap meet, sell right out of your store from this device. It does, we've added a couple new features here. You can see we recall stored quotes. Not only can you save a quote and bring it up in your store, but you can also restore or recall stored quotes on this device as well from in your store. And then it also provides support for promotions and pricing plans and trade discounts. However, let's take it, just want to make sure that everybody understands, as far as Ace Rewards goes and all of those tied to the Ace Rewards program, does not support today. And I don't know if that's going to be something that we support or not, but it is something that is very complex. It's rewriting the point of sale application on the Samsung device. So what we have right now is we have a method that you can sell beautifully. You can put in pricing plans. You can tie it to particular individuals' trade discounts. But unfortunately, if your intentions are to support Ace Rewards using this device, it's not going to happen anytime soon. This requires version 1.1.1 or higher. I believe 1.1.2 is out there as well, but this is a great product. I recommend this product highly because it is so versatile. It is so mobile. It really is everything that you would need in selling from your store from anywhere in the world. All right, let's move on. So what are some of the new point of sale features? So I'm pretty excited about these features. Every time a new feature comes out, it's a good day. I really enjoy it when we add features that people have been requesting, or in some cases, customers actually fund these features because they need it. They need some custom software, and we'd be glad to do it. In this case, there are several lumberyards that were requesting that we not only purchase by board foot, which we've done for years, but also sell by board foot. So we've incorporated this feature in the invoice and quote. So in the inventory area, there's a new button you'll see in the top left-hand box up there. It says MBF, it's 1,000 board foot, checkbox. If you check that box, now you will be selling that product via board foot, but it also shows a stick price as well. It also works for square foot and ton as well. So we've added also a square footage calculator. So we've always had a footage calculator, so a tally calculator, if you will. You know, I got one 2x4, 6 foot long, another one that's 8 foot long and 6 inches. You know, we've always supported that. This is a square footage component. So you'll see on that little drop down with the blue arrow pointing to the left, you'll see that footage calculator is Control K. To spawn the square footage calculator is Control S is the command. And then on the actual invoice line itself, it puts a note in there that says what the specific dimensions are. And it calculates the quantity and the price accordingly. Numbered quotes. Another feature that a lot of folks are asking for is for the contractors that come in and you build this enormous quote for them, they need to have that quote numbered. It just makes it really easy to recall and to organize. Let's say there's a contractor that's in your store frequently and they have, maybe a dozen different quotes in the system. Well, this will identify by the quote number, and it will show that quote number both in the memo area of the quote and under recall transaction, and also on the receipt, and also on the invoice where the cashier can see it as well. So it just keeps running these incremental quote numbers. They are added automatically when you activate this feature. And you can turn it on by going to File Setup, Invoice Store tab, and enable quote numbers. And it will just be like magic. It turns it right on. Next one is applying freight cost to EDI invoices. So we've always had the capability to add freight costs to manual POs, but the electronic data interchange has always been a little bit more complex, obviously, and the shipping information has not historically been provided to us through the EDI reporting. So now we have a feature we put on the bottom of the screen here. You can see the blue arrow pointing down to it. It says apply freight charge. That enables you to apply freight charge to any particular invoice. So if you know what your freight charge is and or delivery fees or whatever they might call it, you can add that. And what it does is it adds it to all of the, and distributes to all of the items in that invoice, either by weight or cost. Cost is more typical, but weight is also supported. So it's a best practice to apply the freight cost as soon after receiving the EDI invoice as possible. Obviously, as you let time go on, it's going to change things like average cost and things like that. So you want to be able to incorporate the cost of the freight as soon after processing that invoice as possible. All right, moving on. So customize email invoice message. So this enables you to, we've had the capability, right, for a long time. When you do an invoice for a customer, you can automatically send them a copy of the invoice, right? It just looks at all their emails that they have and it shoots out an invoice. And it's in the past, we've changed the actual name of the invoice, file from invoice. Now we've added invoice and the actual invoice number, which is helpful because it basically serializes every one of the invoices. And then you now have a capability to put in a little message there. Hey, we appreciate your business. Here's a copy of your invoice. Can't wait to see you next time in our store, and put a nice little message like that in there. That can be done just by going to File Setup, going to the Forms tab, and under the email message box, you just put in the message and it will show up from that point forward. All right, creating a new purchase order from back-ordered items. So most vendors don't support back orders, meaning they're not going to keep orders on file of product that you ordered if it hasn't come in, if it didn't come in with the first truck. So what we've devised here is an opportunity for you to take all those items that weren't received in the invoice coming down from Ace and create another PO from that data. So it says, all right, all the ones that you did not receive, let's just create another PO and send it in. So this is going to immediately create a new order. It's going to enable you to send that directly into Ace just by a push of a button. And now all those items that you were hoping for are now on order again. It's been very critical recently, with the COVID and everything, where the your orders have not been 100% fulfilled. The fulfillment rate's been, I think, in the 60 to 80%. And with some vendors, that's not bad. Some vendors, it's a lot worse. So this is really one of those things that helps you tackle that issue by enabling you to very quickly and easily, just by a push of a button, order all those products that didn't come in, just order them again right then. And they will be earmarked in the system under those inventory items as on order again. They're not, you don't have to mess with going through suggested order and looking for these products that didn't come in. It's just going to order them again. So pretty cool feature. This is going to, again, this is all about saving time and adding efficiencies to make you more productive. You can, to access this feature, just go to Find PO and you'll see it right there next to, we've added it next to the right of Cancel Back Order, which is Revise PO. And that just creates a revised purchase order. So what it does here, you'll see it, this is actually looking up this revised purchase order. It actually has a name there. It says Revise PO 142, revision of PO 142. And it creates its own number. Obviously, it's not 142. It's whatever the next sequential number is in line. And then you just hit the send button or the confirm button, and it goes off to Ace, and everybody's happy. All right, so another feature, adding precision to PO quantity and price. This is something that we've had on the invoice screen for a while. We've got a lot of folks that are doing feed and seed that are requesting this. I think it's a very powerful feature. On the purchase order screen, you can order or receive products and change the quantity and cost out to 4 and 6 decimal places, respectively. And once you do that, it actually adds a note down below that item with the specific amount of the actual quantity and cost, because on the top line it's just going to show 2 decimal points out. All right, so another feature we've added is you have the ability now to schedule reports for weekdays only. So if you're a store that isn't open during the weekend, or you're a manager that doesn't want any reports processed during the weekend, you can do them all. You can just set it to exclude weekends. That's all this is. It's great. If you need it, it's here. Otherwise, just ignore it. But it's another feature that we've had requests for, so we've added it, and it's been very helpful. I hope you can use it. If not, no big deal. All right. So what's next? So we have an Excel version now of the credit card deposit report. It used to only be in PDF on the daily report at the end of the day, right? So you do your reconciliation report, and it has a full-on list of all the different items that were in the credit card. Now this has the ability to push this out to an Excel spreadsheet, just the credit card transactions. So very helpful. It will not have any information that is PCI, that is not PCI compliant. Obviously here, you can see the card number. It's all asterisks except for the last 4 digits, which are non-toxic. And we have the card type, the name, the amount, and the authorization number, and as not to mention the invoice number and the date and time. All right, so another thing that we've added, another report, is a customer-friendly transaction report. So to view a customer-friendly version of the Excel report that omits department cost and margin data, then you just select the additional setting that says make this customer-friendly. So if you want to view all that data, the department, the cost, and the margin data, then you would select the other radio box to the right of that in the blue box, which is accounting department version of the report. So now we have that feature, and this is the transaction report specifically that goes to Excel. All right, we already had this feature on the non-Excel one, but we've added this now to the Excel version of the transaction report. So now you can share this, presumably you can share this with your customers because it doesn't have any sensitive data on it like cost and margin. All right, so I think that's a cool feature. Here's one that automatically excludes special orders from rewards. So you don't necessarily want to give Ace Rewards credits to people buying special orders, and this will enable that feature. So you can put a default class in for special order items, and that's under the company tab. And after you've created a default class for special order items, and obviously you're going to make that class where it does not support or honor ACE rewards for that class. So this is a feature that has been a tremendous help for people. Oftentimes, special orders can be in the thousands and tens of thousands of dollars, sometimes creating a lot of ACE rewards credits. Well, this now will thwart that from happening again. All right, EMV stores that are using EMV and they're using the new Lane 7000 or 8000 devices, when you are adding new stored, when you're adding stored credit cards into the customer screen, it will enable you now you can type them in on the pin pad that comes with the Lane 7000. Or in this case, if you uncheck the manual entry box, you can swipe or dip the card, and it would bring that information from the card and automatically put that on your stored credit card under the customer file. So that is another feature that's available, and it's only available for stores that are using EMV. Because it's already available for stores that are not set up for EMV. So in this case, it just gives you this capability that you've had before on the new Lane 7000, 8000 devices. All right. So this is something that's come up recently as of late. You've been seeing a lot of this on the message boards and such. There are some states and municipalities are requiring that there be a fee tied to certain product. And I mean, you knew this in the past as a core charge, right? Well, now we've enhanced this to accommodate required fees, and you can put in whatever terminology you want for this. It does use the core charge file or input for this, but we've added a new feature to this, of a couple of new enhancements to this, which really make it perfect for this type of additional charge or required fee on certain items. So first and foremost, you can change the name to anything you want. In this case, we just called it required fee. Secondly, we have a report that you'll be able to see here on the next slide. I'll go through that momentarily. But to activate this, you can just go to File Setup Invoice tab and you say Use Alternate Core Charge Identifier, and that's where you change the name, and then it just changes right on the screen. On the reporting side of things, we enable you to now have an opportunity to produce a report. And as you can see, depending on how you produce this report, what criteria you select, your reports may be different. So you have summary of fees collected by class, then you have collected fees by transaction within a class. And these are all, it looks like, these are all within the same Excel document. You'll see the different workbooks down below, summary, class 1, class 400, and so on. So all the information is broken out and itemized in here for you. So if you were required to provide this information to your municipality or to your state or county or what have you, you have that information available very quickly. Now that name that you changed it to, in this case, we would change it to required fees. We now see on the What I Need to Know under Sales Analysis Reports, under the report list, you have a new report called, whatever the name was, Details. In this case, it's Required Fee Details. If you didn't change it, it would be Core Charge Details. So this is a report that, again, we just showed on the previous screen, but this is where you would get access to that. All right, moving on. Another new feature we've added based on a request from our customers is a pick list. These are for outstanding order item details in Excel. So what this does is if you go into stored quotes and you see everywhere where there's a order checkbox, the green checkbox under order, order just means you've taken a quote and you've converted it into an order. Converting it into an order does a couple of things. One, it puts a green checkbox on it. Two, it lets you do a buy down quote, meaning you can bring up the quote and sell them 3 of the items and then restore the quote, and it just happens automatically when you sell those items that you're selling. And then it tracks what you've sold in the past, and also what you have left to sell them on that quote. And you can add additional products onto this at the time of the purchase. So it's very nice. This report, again, what this report in particular will do is it will push out to an Excel document. It will push out all those orders, and I am breaking them down by the customer name and the order numbers, and separating between each one of those on that Excel document. So you can very easily and quickly go through and see what items are on order and make sure you have enough to fulfill them, or you can go and pick them and put them in a barrel, for them to pick up, however you want to do it. To activate this, you just go to Invoice Quote module, click on Recall Transactions, select Order Quote, and click Pick List. You can see the button right there on the screen. All right, so that's just an added feature that you can use. So if there are multiple orders, as I mentioned, multiple orders in there, it will put every one of those in the same Excel report, but it will break them out by a space. So you can, print or use any information from that Excel spreadsheet. All right, so what are some of the new Ace hardware features? Well, here's one that you'll probably all be excited about. This is a Ace real-time RSC availability for POs. So this is looking at the distribution services or centers, the retail service centers, and it's going to give you a real-time number as to what is how much do they have in stock. And what this will do is we'll itemize the out of stocks in your PO. This is really cool. The partial stocks available. I know some of you on the phone right now are using this feature, Joe. Hopefully it's been working out well for you. And then it shows the stock available. So it actually breaks out on the PO. So you don't have to go through now and compare your Paladin purchase order with everything in AceNet to make sure that it's in the warehouse. This just breaks out your POs and says, all right, these 10 items, sorry, we're out of stock. These next ones, we have partial stock available, meaning we can supply some of the product that you are requesting for, the quantity you're requesting for, but not all of it. And then here are all the products that we do have in stock and available. Tremendous efficiency. Again, that if that was the theme of this particular presentation was efficiencies, this is one of those that you're going to get a big return for your buck with. All right. So moving on, here's another thing that we've done. Oh, this is what it looks like, guys. So when you highlight a particular item, it shows you stock on hand, on order, forecast needs, and the surplus. So this is the next screen. So you can actually, that was in the PO, but if you're also in inventory and you want to do a quick check, you can also do it here. So another thing we've added for Ace stores is now you can view images. So in the advanced lookup portion of the system, so advanced lookup is in multiple areas, right? It's on invoice and quote, it's on POs, it's on inventory, a number of different places you can do advanced lookup. And when you do advanced lookup, there'll be a magnifying glass available to the left. That means there is an image added, and it's added during the EDI processing. And every time you receive an item, we will download that image with this new version of software. And over time, all of these images will be added to your system. But we don't just do one full-time, 3-day dump of images. We'll just do this gradually as you order product and receive product. So this will be coming down, and it's just going to show you an advanced lookup. You'll see these little magnifying glasses popping up, and if you click on that, it will show you the image of the product. So pretty cool. Here's another feature that was asked for. A lot of people with some other systems, it automatically processes your hot sheets, meaning you don't have to push a button to say, send or receive hot sheets. We are now automating this process. So you will have an opportunity to automate this process. This feature is in a test mode right now. It's in a few stores, but it will be released to all stores soon. But again, all we're doing here is we're circumventing you having to go into the system and press the download files button. So, well, actually, it says here a manual step, download files, is still required to process EDI files. But what it does is it processes the file automatically. So let's go through this. So Paladin EDI will automatically process the hot sheets at 4 a.m. local time. Prices increases are delayed, right? Because if you process the hot sheet, what happens? It's going to change the price. What happens is, even though it's updating this at 4 a.m., when you actually hit the download files button, it's going to, at that point, it'll kick in all those price changes, and everything will be copacetic at that point. So your EDI processing wait time will be short because the bulk of the processing, hot sheets and maintenance, was already completed overnight. So oftentimes when you hit that download button, it takes a while to process, right? You sit there and you watch the screen. It kind of gives you a status update. That's all going to be offloaded to that evening function, that 4 a.m. function. But when you process them, all it's going to do when you hit the download files button is just go in and update the prices and stock on hand. Now, that's pretty cool. This is actually going to, again, increase your efficiencies. You're not going to be twiddling your thumbs while this is processing. It's already been done for you. So it's kind of the best of both worlds, in my opinion. It's a great feature. All right, here we have revenue report update for Ace Instant Savings Dine-In Promotions. So as you've probably seen, as of June 1st, a number of the stores, we've moved the revenue source of Instant Savings Dine-In Promotion down to a department code. So it's no longer a revenue source. We did this to handle taxes because there were certain items that there were certain promotions that were taxable and some that weren't taxable. And this kind of was an issue when you're talking about revenue sources. So we broke that out and we put it down under department. And now we have a department ID of 10201 for instant savings and 10202 for dynamic promotions. And it will break them out. Now, for the next 365 days, you're still going to see that instant savings dynamic promotion up above. But that's only because last year is going to be showing numbers. So we're going to be showing you that comparison from last year to this year, and it's always going to be 0 for this period until 365 days pass, and then those two lines will just disappear off of that comparative revenue report. Reconciliation is very easy in this regard, so you can still go in and you can search your transactions by tender type and in the transaction report, and you can search for instant savings or dynamic promotions, and it will give you those that information. All right, moving on to support for the Valspar to Benjamin Moore SKU conversion. So we've got a feature in for that. It converts Valspar inventory into Benjamin Moore items automatically. So this is a tool that we have in the system, and to run it, it's under Maintain Utilities, Ace Utilities, Ace Valspar SKU conversion. And the primary part number is set to the Benjamin Moore SKU. The Valspar SKU moves to the alternate part number list, so that's important. And the Benjamin Moore UPC is also added, and that becomes the primary or default alternate part number. And then the Valspar manufacturer number is changed to the Benjamin Moore part number. That's what happens during this conversion. Another thing we've added, wow, we're at 48 or about 45 minutes since we started. There's a lot of information and content here, guys. Thank you for hanging out. We're almost through this. The next feature that we have is support for Big Green Egg online purchase pickup in the store. So Big Green Egg items sold on acehardware.com now require Ace Hardware SKUs. So to ensure that your customers can purchase these products online from your store, run the BGE SKU conversion as well. So in Paladin, it's under Maintain Utilities, Ace Utilities, Ace BGE SKU conversion. And that will incorporate and properly enter those SKU numbers and make them equivalent to what's on the acehardware.com site. Phew, okay, that was a lot. That was the last slide here. You can always go to portal.paladinpos.com/new-features/summer-2020, or click on the link when you receive if you download this PowerPoint. To continue on, if there are any questions and answers, I do see some. We'll get to those. Next webinar will be the why is GMROI so important to your business? We're going to be covering that as well. And that is on the 22nd at 9 a.m. So here's a question, says, is this available for a multi-store? Looks like the transfer button becomes stock check. That's correct. Please have someone reach out. Okay. Okay, so yes, all you do is click on that transfer button and it will show you not only what's in your other stores, but it will show you what's in the warehouse as well. And it looks like Joe did respond. We love the RSC quantity on hand stock check feature. So Joe is using it. You'll want to use it as well. Obviously, it's important to your business, particularly in this environment. I mean, absolutely. All right, that's all I have for questions. As always, I appreciate your time today, and the Paladin University, which is really, we're doing a very special virtual user group presentation for ACE. You can always look and find articles and information under Retail Science, which is paladinpointorsale.com/retail science. You can review this webinar at any time at portal.paladinpos.com/webinars, and also the self-help tools, as well as our Paladin store. Those are all, if you go to the Paladin website on the top right-hand corner where it says websites, you'll see all of these links there. So again, I appreciate everybody's time. You know, good luck. It's been nice not wearing a mask for this conversation. I can't tell you how liberating it is not to have this silly mask on all day long. I don't only wear a mask, but I have a protective shield as well, and it's crazy times. But it's been helping out because I don't know about the rest of you, but we're on the West Coast. Well, actually not on the coast. We're in Central Oregon, but all the smoke from the fires in California, Washington, and Oregon are all just kind of converging right here, and we're at pretty toxic air, so it helps to wear the mask. Anyway, folks, thank you for your time. Appreciate it. God bless you guys. Until next time.